Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, the most honest reviews on YouTube. As always, if you're liking the videos, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification. That way you know every time I'm uploading a new video and every time I'm starting a new live stream. So, without further ado, we're doing another Speedy sample review. 24 samples in these two boxes made up of whiskey sent to me by a distilleries to review, whiskey sent to me by friends in the whiskey world, and whiskeys that I've already reviewed, have put in a sample bottle a few months after we opened it. That way we can see how the whiskey's doing with a little bit of airtime. So if this is a re-review, I'll link it up here and in the description below. Let's get to the review. We've got our random number generator program with 24 samples, and today we're reviewing sample number, let's just hit this 3 times, 21. I felt like it kept staying in these low number ranges, so let's get out of the low number range. Let's get to a high number, 21. We got 12 here, 16, 20, and this will be 21. Pour a little bit of whiskey. Looks about like a standard bourbon color, perhaps. Yeah, we're right in that like nice medium amber range. On the nose, pop of fruit. There's some light fruits there. There's also kind of like this almost grape-like quality. I feel like I smell a little bit of rye in there perhaps as well. I'm not saying this is a rye, but there's definitely some, I feel like I can smell some rye quality in there. Pretty darn sweet smelling. We've got a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of vanilla. Very sweet forward, so interesting. We'll see what we got. See if we can get a little oakiness on the palate. Cheers. All right. So the first little pop you get is definitely some of that lighter fruit. It's quickly taken over by this is definitely a younger whiskey. I feel like I'm definitely getting like a youthful quality to it. There are other flavors there, so it's not necessarily overwhelmed by the youthful quality. There are other characters there that are trying to fight with that youthful quality. So this isn't a necessarily like incredibly young whiskey. Like I don't think this is like a 6-month-old whiskey. But if I had to guess, this is probably like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old whiskey at this point. I've only had one taste, so we'll see what we think after we're done. But so far, I'm saying we're young. I definitely feel like I'm getting hints of a rye-like quality in there. There's definitely some herbal spiciness towards the back. I can't tell if I'm picking up like a dill quality or not. It's kind of masked by this youthful grassy quality. Let's give one more taste. There's definitely a nice light fruitiness that kind of flows with this youthful quality that kind of helps to balance it out a little bit. I feel like I almost need to make a separate category and rating for young whiskeys because, I mean, I don't mean to trash them, but I don't love young whiskey. I mean, I've made no bones about that on this channel. Like, I don't think young whiskey is exceptionally good, and I don't think these distilleries are doing themselves a great service by putting it out most of the time. I really think you've got to like do things to the whiskey to help improve the character and the depth and the complexity of it. If you're going to put out a youngish whiskey. Now, don't get me wrong, there are exceptions out there, and I think New Riff is one of the best exceptions out there that a 4-year-old whiskey can taste amazing. But again, I don't want to get on a soapbox. This is a Speedy sample review. We'll save those for the bottle reviews. Give one more taste. Yeah, I mean a lot of the same. It stays relatively flat, especially now after I've gotten a couple pours, drinks over the palate. Nothing crazy. So, I don't think it's bad. It's definitely not offensive. I've had young whiskeys that I don't like, and I think we're just so young they're undrinkable. I don't find this to be undrinkable. For me right now, it's just not something I'm going to want to seek out. In a couple of years, this whiskey may be amazing, and let's hope I'm right about this age thing. But right now, like I said, for me, it's just a little young and needs a little more time in a barrel to really develop some depth and complexity. So, like I said, I don't think it's bad or offensive. I just can't give it a great score. I mean, I think it's going to be like, I'm going to call it a 72. I think it's still in the range, like in the 70s for me are decent whiskey, good whiskey, not great whiskey, and definitely not amazing whiskey. So I think it's decent, and especially for what it is, I think it's, like I said, it's not the most offensive young whiskey I've ever had. So let's see what this is. This is Journeyman Last Feather Rye. All right, so I'm not sure how old this whiskey is. I definitely feel like it's young. It obviously is a rye whiskey, and we kind of picked up on that. There was definitely some rye spice present in the back, but it was definitely not incredibly strong. There was a lot of sweetness here, and there was a lot of that youthful quality that was overwhelming a lot of the whiskey. So I didn't tell you a proof in this review. This is 90 proof whiskey. This was provided by the distillery, so thank you to Journeyman for sending it over. Again, this is just another example of a whiskey I think they can put some more age on. It will actually be really good in a few years, but right now it's just very young and it comes across that way. So maybe I'm sensitive to youthful whiskey, but for me, this one, like I said, it's not offensive. It's decent. It's drinkable. I'll have no problem finishing all of this whiskey, but I would not be seeking it out personally. So that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think if you've tried any of the Journeyman products in the comments down below. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can send me an email at blindwhiskyreviews, that's whiskey with an E, @gmail.com. And until next time, cheers.